Newark, New Jersey, a city built on resilience, history, and heart. But for too long, help hasn't reached everyone the same way. Not everyone gets what they need when they need it. Cars roll past, people wait, the day moves, everyone's going somewhere, but not everyone's moving forward. They carry bags, papers, the quiet weight of life, and all in this motion, some are still waiting to be seen, waiting for a system that shows up. This isn't about not trying. This is about systems that don't listen, that weren't built for real care, real lives, real bodies. Too often, they miss the point. But even here, you can feel something else. What could grow if we built something better? Something worthy of the trust people give every day. This is Newark, not just a city of systems, a city of people, families, neighbors, caregivers, all navigating the same streets, with hope, with struggles, dreams. This is what it looks like when systems are built on care, on dignity, on us. Because access isn't a privilege, it's a right, and real support starts here. What if access to help didn't mean choosing just one door? What if support for food, housing, healthcare wasn't a maze, but a path forward? That's why we created the Newark Access Hub, powered by Caro One, a community-rooted solution that meets people where they are. Caro One was designed with dignity in mind, because access to food, healthcare, and housing shouldn't depend on how well you navigate a broken system. It should start with support. Let's take a step back and look at all the real-world systems we're trying to fix. SNAP, Section 8, Family Care. Each one was created to solve a piece of the problem: food insecurity, housing, or healthcare. But they were built separately, funded separately, applied for separately, all with similar goals, but no shared entry point. Because the truth is, food, healthcare, housing, they're not separate needs, they're a shared human right. That's where our work begins. And to walk us through what this challenge looks like right here in Newark, I'll pass it to Agnes.
Newark is a vibrant city, home to over 305,000 residents, 35% of whom are foreign-born. Census data confirms that 24.7% of residents live in poverty, while only 17.4% of residents over 25 have a bachelor's degree, and 21% of those under 65 are uninsured. 13.2% of those under 65 are living with disability. These socioeconomic realities contribute to the need for public programs such as SNAP, NJ Family Care, and housing programs. As this chart demonstrates, there are similar eligibility, enrollment, and processing details across these three critical programs. Yet, residents must undergo three separate application processes to acquire these overlapping services. Many users report frustration with the process, long wait times, and simply not being aware that they may be eligible for other programs. These issues are often the reason why these programs also struggle with gaps in reach. For example, in conjunction with the Department of Homeland Security, the New Jersey State Department of Human Services conducted a FRAC analysis with data from the American Community Survey. This evaluation reported that only 71.2% of those eligible for SNAP were participating in the program, resulting in over $155 million missed federal dollars and almost 300,000 people who cannot reap the benefits of the SNAP program. In Essex County specifically, which is home to Newark, there were over $18 million of missed federal dollars and nearly 35,000 people who are income eligible but did not participate in the SNAP program.
The lack of an integrated user-friendly application system and awareness around program interoperability prevents eligible individuals from accessing the full range of supports available. This leads to underutilization of services, redundancy in paperwork, and more significant administrative burden.
Some targeted conditions include practices, resource flows and mental models, ease of completion and submission, duplicity, and relevance.
Now, I'll pass it over to Kinesia to share a bit more about our Cara One initiative.
So, how do we address this? The answer starts with Cara One, a mobile-friendly, multilingual platform built for access. But not just access, connection. A digital interface with real-time support from navigators, an embedded referral system that links services across programs, and community-driven outreach campaigns that meet people where they are. But here's what really matters. It's not just technology, it's co-design. Created in partnership with Newark-based community organizations and shaped by the voices of people with lived experience. Because they don't just use the system, they know its gaps, its blind spots, and what needs to change. The vision behind Cara One goes beyond convenience. It's about aligning policies across agencies, securing innovation grants, and philanthropic funding, and building a foundation where no one falls through the cracks. Because the outcomes we imagine aren't just technical, they're transformational. Imagine a single parent, exhausted, overwhelmed, trying to make it through another day of work, school pickups, practices, bills piling up. Now picture them on their phone, and in just a few taps, they're connected to food assistance, or housing support, or mental health care. No long lines, no confusing paperwork, just help, when and where it's needed. Cara One is about restoring dignity, rebuilding trust between communities and the systems meant to serve them. It's about shorter wait times, fewer emergency visits, and more people getting the support they deserve. But most of all, it's about reimagining what it means to care. Because when systems are designed with humanity at the center, we don't just make things easier, we make them better. And now I'm going to pass it over to Akua, who's going to talk more about the key stakeholders, who's involved, why they matter, and how we're making sure every voice is at the table.
Technology alone isn't the answer. We know not everyone has a smartphone. We know not everyone feels safe uploading their birth certificate. That's why Cara One is different. Cara One includes low-cost scanning stations placed in trusted community spaces like libraries, CBOs, and community centers. Residents won't be left to figure it out alone. Trained navigators will walk with them every step of the way. Our data policies are transparent, consent-based, and protect every user's privacy, because access without trust isn't access at all. Cara One isn't being dropped in. It's being built with Newark. With quarterly reviews and co-governance, it remains accountable to the people it serves. Because trust isn't a feature, it's a foundation. Now y'all know that's my time. So hold up, wait a minute. Let me pass the mic back to my girl Rohina to finish with what that vision glow up.
In building Cara One, we learned something bigger than design. We learned that systems change isn't about tech. It's about trust. It's about people. People deserve systems that see them, that believe them, that honor their story without making them repeat it just to survive. Cara One isn't perfect. There were things we almost missed. We almost forgot the importance of language equity until we asked people what made a form feel usable. Nearly overlooked disability access until lived experience advisors spoke up about the need for screen readers, high contrast options. We learned about privacy fears and changed our model to protect consent and choice. After one of our most recent law sessions, shout out to our fearless leader Hema, we revisited our design with new eyes. We reflected on the tools already out there, platforms like 1E app, the Propelled Providers app, Social Work, CAS, and Unite Us. They all had important intentions, but when we examined them more closely, we found gaps that we couldn't ignore. Some required too many logins, others didn't censure disability or language access. Many weren't built with the people they claimed to serve, and that became our North Star. We used the law session as a spark, a moment of truth-telling, to push deeper. What would it mean to design something that doesn't just aggregate services, but acknowledge trauma? Something that doesn't just connect people to benefits, but builds trust in the process itself. That's what Harawan is trying to become. That's why we created our gap closure addendum, not as a fix, but as a commitment, a promise to build with more care, to listen earlier, and to always make changes that matter. We also know the work isn't done. There's going to be long-term funding, statewide interoperability, but the change doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with direction. Because every gap we close is one more person we reach and one more life we treat with dignity.
With CARA 1, agencies will ultimately be able to work more efficiently. They'll spend less time on duplicate paperwork, and that means focusing on utilizing staff time and resources to do what really matters. And that's helping people within the community.
Residents in Newark will gain quicker, more dignified access to essential services, increasing enrollment and stability across food, health, and housing.
This model could become a beacon statewide and beyond, proving that streamlined access strengthens equity, reduces bureaucratic strain, and measurably improves public health outcomes. And for me, it's personal, because when systems work better, people live better. And that's a future I believe in.
Most importantly, the public narrative can shift from one that questions whether people deserve help to one that affirms every person's right to thrive with ease, dignity, and support. It will move away from the framing assistance as a matter of charity or moral judgment, and instead ground it in principles of equity, shared humanity, and social responsibility.
Long after the colors fade, long after the noise settles, what remains is care. What remains is the choice to build differently. We didn't just create an app, we created a doorway, a place where humanity should be honored without apology. We knew the systems wouldn't change overnight. We knew there would be gaps, unfinished bridges, but we started anyway. Because hope isn't passive, it's a blueprint. It's a commitment. It's the courage to build the world you needed, even when it doesn't exist yet. This was never about perfection. It was about leaving something behind softer than survival. It was about making belonging unmistakable. Because this isn't just any city. This is Newark. This is our home. And this is what home should feel like.